Hello, my loves, it's Nola. If you've clicked on this video, there's a good chance your heart feels perhaps a little heavy or leaky right now. If your eyes keep filling with tears and you don't even always know why, then this is for you. You're in the right place. Just sit with me for a while and let's talk about this time of the year, the month of December. This is a time of the year that has a way of shaking my snow globe. It's the time of the year that shakes the snow globe of our lives. We think about all of the people who are gone, the ones who are far away, the ones who have changed, and all of the old Christmases we still carry inside. It all gets stirred up at once, doesn't it? I've been very emotional myself. I'm far from home. I miss my people, and the holidays have never been easy for me. So if you're feeling like that too, I want you to know from the start, there's nothing wrong with you. Your heart is not broken because you're ungrateful. Your heart is tender because you've loved deeply. Sometimes that love has nowhere to go in December except through our eyes. Sometimes it comes out as tears. Sometimes it comes out as tiredness. Sometimes as irritability. But underneath all of that, it's love trying to find a place to land. This has been a very difficult year in the world for many, many people. Some have lost jobs. Some have lost homes. Some have lost a loved one, perhaps a spouse, a child, a parent, or a dear friend. Some of you are grieving a pet who was your constant companion. Sorry, I was just checking the tick at the bottom to see whether this is still recording. Some of you are grieving a pet who was your constant companion. Some of you are grieving a life that you thought you would have by now. I don't know how to speak to every kind of grief. I would never pretend to have neat answers for all of it, but I do know what some of it feels like. I know what it is to wake up and feel like the air is heavier than it used to be. I know what it is to walk through December and feel like everyone else got the memo for the party you're not really in the mood to attend. So I'm coming to you today as someone who has cried in Decembers, as someone who has buried people she loved, as someone who has had to start over even when I didn't want to. And I want to say this: you're allowed to be sad. You are allowed to mourn. As far as I know, and the last time I checked, there is no timeline for grieving the people we love. There's no official form that says, okay, you've had your 6 months, time to get up and move on now. If there is, I've never seen it. And if someone tries to hand it to you, you have my permission to hand it right back. Seriously, grief is not a project. Grief is a love story that doesn't have anywhere physical to go anymore. And grief, beloved, is not only about death. Maybe you've gone through a divorce or a major breakup. Maybe you're grieving the loss of a future you thought you would have with that one person. Also, it does not have to be a romantic breakup. It could be the end of a work relationship that meant a lot to you. Maybe you've come to the end of, or the completion of a major project you've been working on. And there's a certain kind of sadness that comes with that often. Perhaps the end of a business you spent your entire life building. Maybe it's time for retirement, to shut the doors for whatever the reason. There's that grief too. Perhaps it's a long-standing friendship you've quietly outgrown. It might be a move, leaving behind a city or a country or a community that felt like home. It might even be something that seems small on the surface but cuts very deep. That treasured piece of jewelry that you've lost that tied you to someone, that special letter that went missing, or that photograph you wish you still had. There are so many losses we suffer in a lifetime, but the big things and the little things that feel big to our hearts. And I want you to know this, your pain is real. Pain is pain. There's no big pain and little pain in my world. We don't need to rank it. We don't need to compete for who is allowed to feel the most. Now, if all of that is swirling around inside you, and on top of that, here is December with its lights and its music and its pressure, and it can feel like too much. You may be feeling unsociable. You may not want to go to parties. You may not want to go out and be around people. Maybe you're thinking, I just want to stay home, keep my soft clothes on. For me, it's pajamas. Lick my wounds and not be caught up in the hubbub of the holiday season. My love, that is okay. Let me say it again, it is okay. For many people, this is not the happiest, brightest time of the year. For many people, it is one of the darkest times of the year. Depending on where you live, also because of the weather, and also emotionally. I'm really speaking from an emotional point of view. It is the darkest time of the year for many people. We are not failing at Christmas. You are not failing at life because you're not in the mood to deck the halls. I want to give you a little permission slip you can keep in your pocket, a sentence you can use if you need to say no to something. Here's my suggestion. You can say, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm keeping things very quiet this year, but I appreciate you thinking of me. You don't owe anyone, beloved, your full grief story or your mental, emotional, and spiritual health are more important than attending every gathering. Understand that your mental and emotional and spiritual health are more important than you having to attend every gathering. And if you do choose to go somewhere and halfway through you feel heavy, you feel that heavy sadness pressing on your chest, it's okay to leave early. You can say, I'm getting a little tired. I'm going to head out. And that's it. No essay, no explanation. If you can, I want you to do one small, gentle thing for yourself this season. Not 10 things, not a whole self-care checklist, just one. It might be lighting a candle and whispering the names of the people and the places you miss. Let yourself say, I haven't forgotten you. I'm still here. I'm still loving you from over here. It might be making yourself a cup of tea and drinking it slowly, without scrolling, without multitasking, just letting your nervous system know we are safe enough in this moment. It might be taking a short walk and feeling the air on your face It might be putting on the soft blanket or playing one song that comforts you. One small act that says, I'm still here, I still matter, my heart is worth tending to. I also want to talk about the part of you that feels guilty because you're sad. I want to speak to those of you who have young children. You might be listening to this and be thinking, but Nola, that sounds lovely, but I don't have the luxury of staying in bed with my feelings. I have little ones who are expecting Christmas morning. I have to get up and perform. Beloved, I'm not going to pretend that I know how painful that is. I can barely imagine. If that's you, I want you to hear this very clearly. Your children do not need that perfect movie-style Christmas. They need you, a good enough, real enough parent, tired, puffy-eyed you. They need warmth more than they need wonder. They need a few small rituals more than they need a full production. Understand this. It's okay if the gifts are simple this year. It's okay if the food is simple. It's okay for you to sit on the floor in your pajamas with them. Let them rip open the few presents. Then everyone grazes on snacks for the rest of the day. And if you're wrapping gifts with tears in your eyes after they go to bed, if you're sneaking off to the bathroom to have a little cry between Merry Christmas, see what Santa brought, that does not make you a bad parent. That makes you a very human parent who is loving your children through their pain and through your pain. So if all you can manage this year, beloved, is a tree that stands a little lopsided, some cookies from a box or a bakery, and a few moments of genuine eye contact and cuddles with your children, that's more than enough. One day they will remember what it was and how you showed up for them. They will not remember how perfect everything was or how perfect it looked, but the fact that you were there doing your best with your heart and the energy you had. Okay? Don't forget this. And then there's a voice that sometimes says, look at the news. Look at what other people are going through. Who am I to be crying over this? Or I should be more grateful. I have a roof over my head and I've got food on my table. Why am I still so sad? Listen to me carefully, precious soul. Gratitude and grief can sit in the same chair. They can reside in the same place side by side. You can be grateful and still hurt. You can be thankful for what you have and still miss what you lost. That's all part of being human. You are not ungrateful because your heart aches. You are human. You are a spirit being having a very human experience. Sometimes the kindest thing we can say to ourselves is simply, of course I'm sad. Of course this hurts. Anyone who loved like I did would feel this. If you're comfortable, I want to invite you into a tiny moment of grounding with me right now. Just a few seconds. If you're driving or cooking, keep doing what you're doing. You can do this with your eyes open. Now, take a slow breath through your nose and let it out gently through your mouth. Let your shoulders drop just a little. Unclench your jaw. Notice where your body is being supported. Your back against a chair your feet on the floor, your hand on your own heart if that feels good. You are here. You made it to this moment. Every hard day you thought would break you, you survived 100% of them so far. Sometimes the miracle is not that we are happy all the time. Sometimes the miracle is that we are still here at all. Now, about Christmas itself, or whatever holidays you may be facing, you do not have to make this the happiest, biggest Christmas. It does not have to look like a movie. It's okay if it's small. It's okay if it's quiet. It's okay if the best you can do this year is show up, breathe, and get through the days. Maybe your Christmas this year looks like a simple meal, one candle, one phone call with someone safe, and then pajamas and a movie. That still counts. There is no grading system. And if you're spending the day mostly alone, I want you to know that being alone and being unloved are not the same thing. There are people, some of them you know, some of them you've never met, who would be devastated to hear that you ever felt disposable. Your life, beloved, touches more lives than you realize. Your life touches more lives than you realize. I promise you this. I also want to say a word to those of you who feel far from home. Maybe, like me, you're living in another country. Maybe you're in the same town, but your people are gone, and the place doesn't feel like home anymore. Maybe you're missing a version of yourself, the younger you, before the losses, before the disappointments. You are allowed to grieve that too. It's okay to say, I miss who I was when they were still here. I miss who I was before the illness, before the divorce, before the move. Sometimes December doesn't just bring up the people we've lost. It brings up the versions of ourselves we've lost along the way. If that's you, I want you to hear this. You are still worthy now, even with the weight you've gained or the weight you've lost, even with the wrinkles, the scars, the tiredness in your eyes. You are still here, and there's still more life ahead of you than you can think when you're in the middle of the dark. If your heart is leaking out of your eyes this season, you are not the only one. I am right here with you, somewhere on this planet, in my own little corner of the world. I'm lighting my candle, thinking of my people, and taking my shaky, deep breaths too. And if you don't have anyone in your immediate life saying this to you, let me be the one to say it. You are not too much. You are not a burden. You are not weak because you are tender. Your tears are evidence that you have loved, and love is never wasted. So as we move through the season, I want you to remember a few things. You are allowed to be sad. Your grief does not have an expiration date. You do not owe anyone a performance of happiness. Small, quiet holidays are still valid. One gentle act of love toward yourself is enough for today. I'm sending you so much love from my little corner of the world to yours. If this video has met you where you are, feel free to share it with someone whose heart might also be leaking a little right now. And if you want to, you can leave the name of someone you're missing in the comments, and we'll hold them, you and I. We will hold them in our thoughts together. I love you. Take your time. Remember you are not alone. And more importantly, remember that kindness is truly important. It truly matters. Be kind to yourself, and please be kind to others. So many are dealing with stuff that you and I know nothing about. Until the next time, take care of yourself, and bye for now.